Hey yo, what's up everybody, Holmes here and welcome back to some more Scarlet Nexus boss guides. Today we are going to be taking on Travers, and this is going to be the final boss in the game. And here is my SAS setup, okay, and here is my party setup. I have Kasane and I have Arashi, and here is my stats or plugins if you want to look at it. Here is my brain map if you are wondering what I have, and brain field is gonna play pretty big on the second part. This first part I'm gonna show you guys how to just beat him with SAS. So after each of attack he has like a little vulnerability. You can just whack him a few times before he teleports away. If he does that lightning thing, you can use Kagedo's disappearance, like his cloak, and the balls will not track. Okay. If he does the shadow clone thing, this is your major damage output time. So you use Arashi's slow-mo and then you use Tsugumi's clairvoyance, and you can get some major damage in. Like, because Arashi's slow-mo, you know, obviously slows down time, so you can hit him more. Clairvoyance to figure out which one's the real one when he does the shadow clone, and then when you hit the real one, you can stun him. So like you'll stagger him and he won't be able to do anything. He'll just be there taking damage. So yeah, this is like your best time to do damage in on him. And once its HP hits a certain point, I guess like 75%, it'll go into what do you call this? Brain field. And then his attacks gets enhanced here. His like lightning balls, instead of 3, it goes up to 5 or 6. So make sure you use those that cloaking to get rid of that, because otherwise that shit tracks hard. This lightning thing, it feels like the range is still the same. The ice field seems a little bit bigger. His shadow clone, you can still use the same technique. You can use Arashi's slow-mo and then you can use clairvoyance to figure out which one he is. And then once you hit the real one, the fake ones will just automatically disappear. Alright, so don't worry about getting tackled by the other ones. So as long as you hit the real one in time, you'll be good. So yeah, he does it again here, but I don't have clairvoyance this time, so I was trying to figure out which one's the real one just by whacking at it, but I didn't make it in time, so my teammates got hit. And now he's out of his brain field. I should mention he does have like another mode where when he's almost, I guess like when it hits like 25%, he starts like doing, he gets like a bunch of the projectile things, like the crates, and he spins it around. He starts trying to throw it at you. You can dodge that by running around him, okay? But he's not gonna do that here because we're gonna be able to stun him with the whole clairvoyance technique. That's also your like big damage moment on this phase. Whenever he throws things at you, you can just run to the side. If you're feeling brave, you can also try to dodge it last moment and hurl it back at him. That's also another thing to do, but usually I fuck up on that, so I don't bother trying. So we got the whole Arashi and Tsugumi combo going on here again. And if you've been doing the Bond stories, the SAS attack should like come out pretty frequent as well. So once you break his crush gauge, you're gonna be able to do an L2 attack, and this is gonna do some massive damage on him and hopefully take him out. In my case, we got him. So after defeating the first phase, a cutscene is gonna happen, and then this fight's gonna happen. Where this big dude, well, 4 big dudes show up. First one will always drop a disc. Okay, so like in the beginning of this first fight for the second phase, I'll always drop this disc, and I'm just using the slow-mo and the lightning to kind of enhance my damage. But although I think you can just whack it until it breaks, I just kind of want to do it a little faster. And then once it breaks, you can do an L2 on it, break the statue, and then the mask will appear in the middle, and then you're gonna use a whole L2. This first part, it's easy. But if you let it like, because there's the other 3 big guys as well, and if you're fighting this part normally, it will start shifting, like it'll go either clockwise or counterclockwise, or I think it just goes random sometimes. But I'm gonna show you guys a tactic on how to keep it just on this big one right here, on this big other monster here. So once you stun them, you take down like the barrier or the fan, and then you have access to Cotton. You can just keep hitting them right here. You can use whatever SAS you have. If you have it more upgraded, like you can also use 4, but I only have it up to like only using 2 at the same time, so I don't have that ability. And so right as it recovers, right as the big monster recovers, you're gonna want to use your brain field. So after fighting him in the first phase, if you don't use it on the first phase, you should have it in the second phase. Okay, so do your best to not use your brain field on the first phase, because this will make the second phase a lot easier. And at this point, you just want to hit the big dude. Okay, don't worry about the shadow. Well, I guess kind of beware of the shadow Cottons that show up on the side, because they will like stun you sometimes or just give you a hard time. And once you do enough damage to the big other monster's health, it will then let down its guard again, and then Cotton will be exposed, and you can just whack him here. Do be careful, because you can get a game over if you exceed the duration of the brain field. Okay, and I almost broke his freaking what do you call it, crush gauge, but Yuito decided to have a headache, so yeah. And your teammates, more or less of the time, will just give you extended, like it'll extend your brain field time. Sometimes they won't, so like it's not always a guarantee that it will extend your brain field time. Sometimes they'll even extend it like a lot more. Like once it hits like 15 seconds, they all start extending it then, you know, instead of like when it hits 5 seconds. So yeah, it depends on how your teammate's feeling, I guess. But once you get one extension, I'm pretty sure you get like at least 4 per brain field. And I fucked up here. I was trying to do the L2, but I was still hitting him for some odd reason. And I missed my opportunity to do the whole crush gauge animation thing, so that kind of sucked. And I'm running out of time here, and also Cotton's recovering right now. So the reason why I'm waiting until like last second here, because I wanted to wait for the big thing to reset. Once it gets his pose ready and it puts on his mask, he'll be fine. Cause see, it's instead of going to the others, it just dropped the disc again. So that's how you can keep him in this loop. And if you've been upgrading your brain field tree, which I really hope you did, because if you didn't, then this probably wouldn't work so well. But yeah, you should have most of your upgrades by this point. I didn't do any side quests throughout the whole like Yuito's story. I just did main quests, and I managed to hit level 59. So yeah, if you've been doing like side quests and stuff, you should be like 60 something, and hopefully have more brain field skills than I do. So yeah, depending on how this video does, I guess if not a lot of people upgrade the brain field tree, then I'll make a separate video on how to deal with like all 4 of these phases. But yeah, if you do have your like brain field upgraded, this fight, like the second phase, will be a breeze. Not that the first phase wasn't a breeze already. You just gotta have to like know his gimmick, I guess. So now we have our second charge of brain field ready. I'm just waiting for the big thing to reset. So once it resets, once it does the pose, you use your brain field one more time. And now we just have to feel, like, we have to deal, I guess, get the feel of the big guy so we can kick his ass. So yeah, see, you have to worry, kind of have to worry about the shadow cottons, because the paralyze is what's annoying. But if you can get them in your sweeps, like in the brain field, then that'll be great. So at this point, it's just a matter of its HP depletes first with crush gauge. Either way, we got this. So yeah, that's how you deal with Cotton and Travers. The first phase, pretty much just get him with Tsugumi and Adachi. Second phase, you get him with 2 rounds of Brain Feel. More cutscene plays. And then this dark thing happens. There's gonna be like a little talking, and then this dark part happens where you just have to avoid him. Alright? That dark part, you just gotta avoid him. You can't hit him. I tried. You can't hit him. He just keeps dodging. And then your teammate shows up. Like, there's a little cutscene and your teammate shows up. And then, like, these two will be here first. And then they give you their powers. But the funny thing is, you still can't hit him at this point, even with them here. As far as I know. Like, because every time you just hit him, he does that he fades away or whatever. He does that clone thing. And then he teleports back at you, and then if you try to hit him, he'll fade away. And then once he does this clone thing, once he does the shadow clone thing, then you can start hitting him. Like, after this cutscene, you can start hitting him. And then I guess at this point on, you just basically, it's a HP thing. Like, once you drop its HP down a little bit more, another set of your teammates will show up, and that's pretty much how you deal with this part. So he likes to do, like, he likes to get up close and personal for this quote-unquote third phase. He will still do all his other shit, but he mainly does this physical attack thing, so you have to watch out for that. If you can activate Clairvoyance, so every time he gets in close, just dodge away, and then when you use a counter attack, you can drop him right away. So that's another tactic you can use. Or you can just tank it with Gamma. This part right here, all 4 of them show up, and then after this part, you pretty much just have to damage him enough to end the fight. See, his HP is barely there. You have all your support back except for Kasane, because that's a whole story thing. So you have everybody else, and then you can use Adachi when he's using any of his attacks to slow down time and then get some more damage. At this point, you just gotta have to hit him. Like, there's pretty much like not much gimmick. His fight style becomes like first phase again, but instead of like using more of his powers, he just, from my experience, he does more like teleport and melee. That's why I see a lot more compared to first phase, where he throws like lightning, throws like objects at you, or throws ice. This part, I feel like he just does a lot of melee. And you always have to wait for him to attack first before you can do anything. Otherwise, it'll just not work. And I got whacked. I wasted Adachi's slow-mo there. But he's pretty much gone, so yeah. That's pretty much how you deal with Kaden Travers. So I thank you all so very much for watching, and I'll catch y'all next time. Oops.